we've returned. I have a new MasterCard paper that mentions XRP as a bridge currency in today's video. We will also talk about Visa's preparations to collaborate with XRP and Ripple. We'll talk about some of the major developments occurring within the XRP ecosystem, particularly in light of Franklin Templeton's spot XRP ETF's delay. What's happening? Along with a ton of other news, we will talk about that. I sincerely hope that the content I offer is useful to you all. If you do, don't forget to subscribe, hit like, and if you'd like, leave a comment below. The post can be found here. XRP is listed as a bridge currency in a recent MasterCard document. As you can see, Ripple's XRP is being used as a bridge currency by Ripple SBI Remit. Therefore, it has long been known that MasterCard is well aware of what Ripple has been up to. Additionally, MasterCard has been collaborating with Ripple rather than opposing it. As you recall, Visa and MasterCard have engaged in bidding wars for Ripple partners in recent years. Because they require access to this technology, these businesses who have been collaborating with Ripple, and of course, XRP, Visa, and MasterCard, have been looking for ways to acquire businesses that use it. MasterCard made sure they were ready because they realized long ago that Ripple would likely be a leader in the blockchain infrastructure area. As you can see, Thun is also present, along with Brightwell, that is another Ripple partner. Other partners include, of course, Western Union, MoneyGram, Stellar, and others. Following that, here are the relationships I mentioned a moment ago. 2019 saw Visa purchase Earthport, a Ripple-enabled business that might use XRP for cross-border payments. Through Earthport's infrastructure, Visa may now utilize XRP's liquidity and settlement capabilities. The groundwork for XRP to play a significant role in international payments is now in place under Visa. According to Visa's 2025 report, the company is clearly focused on cryptocurrency, and XRP is in a good position to help with their cross-border initiatives. I have a question for you. You've likely been there for a while, you know? Many of you have been here for a long time, but I know some of you have just arrived. Look at the top 10, top 50, and top 100 tokens worldwide. What is more noticeable? Who, after all, possesses the technology that organizations are eager to collaborate with? In the United States, the SEC caused delays, which is the only reason Ripple hasn't taken over the world by now. All of stuff has now been removed. Ripple is crucial and is regarded as the world's largest provider of blockchain infrastructure, and a great deal of responsibility goes along with that. Consequently, a significant portion of the global value will be added to the XRP ledger. Here is the 2019 Earthport acquisition, and watching all of this unfold at the time was quite fascinating. I regret not launching my channel in 2019. We had the opportunity to discuss this in real time. Naturally, there is a paper that states that Ripple and XRP can be used by a number of businesses, including Facebook, Google, Uber, Airbnb, and others, to process payments. Consider an Uber driver that receives payment for each delivery or ride they provide during the day. You've heard me mention this a lot. Payroll is only done once or twice a month since it's highly expensive. It costs a lot. This could be done for everyone for less than a penny with blockchain, which would improve people's daily lives. This is from Smoke, he adds. Indeed, XRP will be used by those who are unaware of it. The protocol of Ripple is made to transfer value immediately between countries. That worth could be expressed in energy, gold, currency, or even services. Similar to how email depends on SMTP for its back-end operations, Ripple does the same for financial transactions. The document that follows illustrates how the Ripple protocol is comparable to SMTP, the email protocol that allows various tiny, distinct email services to communicate with one another regardless of the service being utilized. When you send an email, SMTP is not shown. Ripple won't be visible to you when money moves. Okay, here is the specific document to which they were alluding. Claims that the Universal Internet Protocol, Ripple, was established in 2012. Next, we have the SMTP connection. Then, there are dollars, pounds, and euros down here, along with barrels of oil, hours of electricity, services, and a lot more. Keep in mind how sluggish the Bitcoin blockchain is. Just 7 transactions every second. You are aware that you will have to wait a long time if you have ever sent Bitcoin to a friend or cashed it out from an exchange. Additionally, the more time passes, the more anxious you feel that you could have made a mistake. Have you ever sent a transaction and then noticed that it hasn't appeared? It has not appeared. To find out if I sent this to the correct wallet, you must go back and look through the transaction history. It's not a pleasant sensation. You can instantly acquire the same amount there with Bitcoin if you use XRP. Therefore, it states that financial institution clients can use Ripple without having any knowledge of it or its protocol. Additionally, Rob Cunningham highlighted the following links. Ripple was founded in 2012, you know. These are a few of the alliances they have formed over the years. Camp One Virtues, Lightseed Venture Partners, Panta Capital, FF Angel Founders Fund, Google Ventures, Anderson Horowitz, IDG Capital, and Bitcoin Opportunity Fund. Additionally, here are a few of the Ripple relationships that we are all familiar with, and that Ripple has been working with for a while. Pay attention. It's incredible, you know, because I'm not sure how many people here are aware that you're from compliance. You're from the Federal Reserve, where conformity is the norm. You know a lot about this planet then. You were actually among the first to join Ripple years ago, and you assisted in getting them there and compliant. Because you are also from the Fed, did you like the person who introduced him to the Fed? Have a brief conversation about that. I didn't accompany Chris to Treasury early on, and I believe it was the 10th person at Ripple. I believe that Treasury in Washington, D.C. was somewhat taken aback when they realized that this was a global, permissionless network. By the time we left, they were feeling very confused. That was back when we believed that being wealthy would get us into trouble. Then we discovered that, in fact, we are similar to a security. We are become a commodity. It is comparable to liquid solid gas. That exercise was one of those. However, in the beginning, no one was aware of this. As a result, we were the first to convey this to Treasury. Ripple was the first to explain this to Treasury. I'm attempting to demonstrate that Ripple has been collaborating with the federal government for more than 10 years. They were the first blockchain infrastructure business to genuinely enter the market and demonstrate the potential of blockchain technology. For that reason, Ripple was a member of all the task forces the United States established to promote speedier payments. Well, we'll have to wait and see what the Trump government does. We have FedNow, which is meant to be an instant payment mechanism within the first 10 to 20 seconds, you know. You can utilize XRP, Algorand, and a few other assets within that system. But will they employ cryptocurrency within the Fed's current system, or will they create a new system on top of it?